5 on Your Side at 10 starts now.
A toasty end to September and not much change for the first several days of October, when rain chances may return to the region.
We have the latest details on a double shooting in North City as one victim fights for their life.
President, if you're watching television, shut it off and come sit down and negotiate with us.
Democrats want to shut it down. If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down.
A battle over funding could end with a government shutdown. How soon lawmakers have to reach a deal. Plus, why this could create bad news for thousands of federal workers. But first, tonight's top story, the power of music.
Like, okay, something happened, but this song will motivate me to get up and do my best.
How one local musician is using her talents to support May 16th tornado survivors. Thanks for joining us at 10, everyone. I'm Robert Townsend. Since the May 16th tornado, FEMA says it has distributed more than $47 million to homeowners and renters in the Show Me State. Now, with such extensive damage, many musicians in St. Louis have turned the tragedy into art. New tonight, 5 on Your Side's Annie Kroll caught up with a rising star, helping her city heal.
Hey man, it's a tornado, man. We're in a tornado.
An unreleased snippet of the song For My City by Her Name K, a 23-year-old artist who saw the devastation firsthand after an EF3 tornado ripped through her hometown. The trauma is still very real, she says.
It'll make you be like, okay, something happened, but this song will motivate me to get up and do my best because, you don't want to sit and not get nothing done because, things won't make a change if you just sit.
Her Name K caught up with us only hours before her second show in Atlanta this week, but just a few days before, the hip-hop, pop, and rap musician was recording with her team at Flatline Records to help bring this song to thousands of listeners.
It's a good thing for other people that's not in the city because they can also do research on key points about the song as well. So we wanted to stand out to people that's not inside the city as well.
Power lines are going up. Of course, many homes in this area are still without electricity. We've had a lot of people come together, but
So I've never seen a tornado or anything like that come through our city and do that. And so I definitely want to make a song and dedicate it to the city. And so, I called Kay up and we made it happen.
CEO of Flatline Records, Mr. Witt, is from North City, saying some of his loved ones were directly hit. As of September, about 9,000 homes have received aid from FEMA, but on Thursday, disaster recovery centers stopped offering their face-to-face services in the city. People now needing to rely on FEMA's website, phone line, or app for assistance.
People are definitely still struggling with the fact of what happened.
As of Friday, the Urban League site on Natural Bridge will reopen as an SBA disaster loan outreach center where survivors can apply for low-interest disaster loans. Just one more way to try to rebuild the city.
I try to turn it into more of a positive thing so that way people can listen and find their way through the devastation.
Annie Kroll, 5 on Your Side.
So nice to see her helping her community. Her Name K will be back in the studio on Tuesday to put more finishing touches on her song, which will drop as a single and on her upcoming album. Tornado survivors can still apply for aid or check the status of their case by visiting our website at ksdk.com. Right now, St. Louis police are investigating a double shooting near the Bell Fountain Cemetery. Police say they got calls around 2:30 this afternoon. Officers found 2 men shot on Ruskin Avenue on the city's north side. Paramedics took both to a hospital with critical injuries. Police say one of those men died from their injuries. At this hour, police have not shared any new details. Also happening today in Millstadt, a deadly car crash that closed I-163 for nearly 4 hours is under investigation. It happened this morning near Cemetery and Millstadt Road. Investigators believe a driver swerved from that road for an unknown reason and hit a tree. The St. Clair County coroner pronounced the driver dead at the scene. Authorities tell us no other cars or people were involved. We're giving you a live look at the state capitol tonight, where tomorrow, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe plans to sign the Missouri First Map Bill into law. That's the new congressional map passed by GOP lawmakers earlier this month. The map is expected to give Republicans an extra House seat by splitting up a section of Kansas City, which is currently controlled by Democrats. Critics have filed several lawsuits against the new map, calling it illegal. Tonight, we're also looking ahead to a new round of negotiations between Boeing and the union representing thousands of striking workers. Those talks are scheduled to happen on Monday with the help of a federal mediator. Striking machinists have rejected 3 contract offers from Boeing since the walkout started last month. Workers have been asking for better pay and better benefits. Today, a historic moment involving a group of slaves trying to escape St. Louis was reenacted at the Missouri Botanical Garden. This reenactment is a yearly event called the Mary Meacham Freedom Crossing Celebration. Now, it tells the stories of 9 enslaved people who met at the Mary Meacham site to escape to freedom by crossing into Illinois.
Well, last week at Botanical Garden, for the first time, we brought the backstory of those slaves that had escaped that night. You're able to see them as they walked the grounds, be able to tell their story, why freedom is so important to them, why they want it. But here, this is the actual escape point. So now we'll see, if you met them last week, you'll see them this week as they try to run.
Organizers have acted out this moment in history for the past 23 years. They say it's important to continue telling these stories so our area's history is not forgotten.
The number of minority companies and female companies that we have available are not being utilized to the extent that their counterparts are.
St. Louis alderpersons and contractors gather for serious talks about the future of women and minority-owned businesses in the city. Plus, a new art gallery curated by Chuck D from Public Enemy is now open in downtown St. Louis. We'll tell you where you can see the hip-hop legend's very own art exhibit.
The tropical Atlantic has come to life. We are tracking the 2 storms out there now and the indirect impact they may have on our forecast.
Tonight, the clock is ticking for lawmakers to pass a spending bill or face a government shutdown. As you can see, they have about 3 days to get a deal done. Here's a live look at Capitol Hill, where leaders continue to battle over funding tonight. A possible shutdown has left federal workers worried about a possible layoff situation. It's the latest upset in an already tumultuous year for federal employees. Jen Sullivan tells us what's at stake.
Time is running out for lawmakers to pass a spending plan and avoid a government shutdown. They have until 11:59 Tuesday night, where the government will shut down on Wednesday.
The Democrats want to shut it down. If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down. But they're the ones that are shutting down.
The Republican-dominated House passed a temporary plan to fund the government, but it stalled in the Senate, where Republicans have a 6-seat majority.
Mr. President, if you're watching television, shut it off and come sit down and negotiate with us.
Many Democrats are refusing to back down unless lawmakers extend Affordable Care Act subsidies that lower the cost of health insurance for millions of Americans.
We will not support this partisan Republican spending bill because it continues to gut the health care of the American people.
Further complicating the looming shutdown, the White House Budget Office has directed federal agencies to use this opportunity to prepare sweeping new layoffs, according to a memo obtained by CNN. Earlier this year, the Trump administration and Elon Musk's backed government efficiency team known as DOGE fired thousands of federal workers to help cut spending. The directive is spreading widespread fear, one federal employee telling CNN, quote, "This kind of treatment is inhumane. I don't even know how to prepare for the complete unknown." Since Trump took office in January, out of more than 2 million federal employees, more than 51,000 have been cut as of July. Hundreds of thousands of more workers are expected to drop off the federal payroll in October as part of the Trump administration's deferred resignation program. Jen Sullivan, 5 on your side.
Now, it's important to point out the government has not seen a shutdown since President Trump's first term in office back in December of 2018. That shutdown, you'll recall, lasted for 35 days. Today, President Trump announced he is sending troops to Portland, Oregon to protect immigration facilities. In a post on Truth Social, Trump claimed ICE facilities were under siege by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. Oregon's governor wrote on social media that her office had not been notified why the troops were actually being deployed. Still ahead, a federal funding threat, a controversial pause, and a packed emergency meeting in St. Louis. The high-stakes debate unfolding right now. A hip-hop music pioneer special art exhibit now in St. Louis. We'll take you there right after this break. Today, an emergency meeting between alderpersons and contractors in St. Louis drew a pretty big crowd. This centers around a federal threat to support women and minority-owned businesses. Earlier this month, Mayor Kara Spencer signed Executive Order 91. It officially ended the pause and restarted the MWBE certification program. Tonight, 5 on Your Side's Travis Cummings reports on a much-needed discussion between city leaders and stakeholders.
Fellow engineer. My grandmother and grandfather, Mattie Mae Hutcherson and Booker T. Hutcherson, had a small liquor and convenience store at Jefferson and Thomas.
Business is in her blood.
My grandfather was one of the first black concessionaires at St. Louis Lambert Airport.
That legacy is why Nicole Adewale, principal and owner of full-service engineering firm ABNA, says she's here.
About how can everybody have a seat at the table?
Minority contractors, business owners, and city leaders gathered to weigh in as St. Louis navigates threats to federal funding and Mayor Spencer's pause on a major contract, raising questions about equity and access.
I think this is a great opportunity for community to come together and talk about this issue and not just hear the alder people argue it in session.
Is that the city of St. Louis does not have a diversity, equity, and inclusion program, that we have an anti-discrimination program that is based off of disparity studies that provides statistical evidence that there is discrimination against minority and women businesses in this city.
City leaders passed out this assessment timeline dating back to 2024 when they first got their results from that disparity study, but they say these struggles have existed since before then.
The number of minority companies and female companies that we have available are not being utilized to the extent that their counterparts are.
As legislation is drafted to change that, leaders say listening comes first.
National consultants on this so that we make sure we get it right this time.
Because their decisions could determine whether communities and the city thrive.
Opportunities that can leap you into another market, help introduce you to a different skill set, give you money to be able to invest in new equipment, new technology.
Travis Cummings, 5 on Your Side.
Travis, thanks for your report. If you were unable to make today's caucus, you could reach out to your alderperson. Their contact information can be found on the City of St. Louis's website. And check this out. You're looking at a special art gallery made by hip-hop icon Chuck D. He is the leader and frontman of the popular 80s rap group Public Enemy. The exhibit is named Roll Call, Most of My Heroes Don't Appear on No Stamps. It opened earlier this month and features artwork made by Chuck D. The 65-year-old famous rapper and entrepreneur says the gallery honors the heroes, legends, and peers who helped shape his life.
The exhibit and the gallery and the activity that's going on in the community and being aligned with it, to me, that makes me feel great to try to make my best attempt to be a magnet and a prism for things to come together and see their work and their situation just shine as well.
The exhibit is located at the Legends Gallery on Washington Avenue in the Grand Center Arts District. You can see it in person from now until November 12th. That sounds like a pretty cool exhibit to check out. Turning now to weather, it was indeed another sunny and dry day around our area. The big question is, how long will it last?
Indefinitely is really what we're doing here. We're going until probably the middle of October before the rain chances start to increase. But look at this. Ashley shared this picture with our 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers Facebook group. That's looking from Pere Marquette, north of Grafton State Park. What a great time to get out and enjoy some of that time outside and take the trails. This is from Innsbruck tonight. Innsbruck tonight hosting a U.S. Star Wars or Sky Wars kind of thing where they have a fireworks demonstration, kind of a big competition out there. So it was a perfect night for that. And you're looking at temperatures that are dropping now back into the 60s. Across the area. Still 69 in St. Louis, but outlying areas have cooled off closer to 60 degrees at this point. We do that with clear skies and the winds that are generally calm. We haven't had a whole lot of wind the last couple of days, and we won't for the next couple. Dew point's 55. We're headed down into the 50s again tonight. 57 was our low this morning. Tonight, outlying areas in the coolest spots close to 50. In town, temperatures closer to 60. Here's the thing. The water temperatures in the area of rivers, a little warmer than these air temperatures, so there'll be some patchy fog along the river valleys and spots tomorrow morning, and then it's gone, and it's more sunshine, hour by hour, quick warm up. You're back into the mid to upper 80s tomorrow, into Monday, into Tuesday. Eventually, temperatures back off a little bit towards the end of the week. There really isn't a whole lot going on. We have a stagnant upper level pattern over us. There's no rain in the forecast the next 10 days. It will be warmer than average. Let's go back to that. This is Umberto. It is a Category 5 hurricane. That stays out to sea. But what we're watching is what will develop into Imelda, still a tropical depression. But there is still more consensus tonight that it's going to hang a right and not impact the U.S. coastline in a bad way, at least as bad as it could. It looks like they'll get a little rough surf and maybe some coastal rains, but not terrible. Here at home, those two tropical systems out there tend to hold up our weather pattern a little bit. So we just don't see much of a change over the next 7 days, other than it gets slightly cooler as we head towards next weekend.
Is this an unusual dry spell?
Well, we are dry. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
Fall is usually our driest month.
All righty, Scott, thanks. Corey's here now with what's coming up in sports.
Robert, it was a packed day on the sports schedule with all sorts of area teams in action. Some had days to celebrate, some didn't. We'll talk about all of it next in sports. We are in the busiest stretch of the St. Louis sports calendar. Just about every pro team in town was in action today, and it's a college football Saturday. So since Saturday is for college football, that's where we have to start tonight. Mizzou hosting UMass for homecoming in Columbia. This was the first sight Mizzou fans saw on TV once the broadcast switched games. Electric running back Ahmad Hardy going off hurt. Have no fear, he'd be back with a vengeance. Hardy's backfield partner started the scoring, though. Jamal Roberts pinballs in, 7-0 Mizzou. Hardy went to work from there. He rattled off 130 yards on the ground and count them 1, 2, and 3 touchdowns on the night for the Tigers. The back now has 730 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. Tigers made easy work of lowly UMass. Bo Pribula hit Brett Norfleet for a touchdown that made it 35-6. Pribula completed 21 straight passes at one point tonight. That's a Mizzou record for passes completed in a row. Mizzou wins big 42-6 as the Tigers head into a bye week. Luke Altmaier in Illinois hosted USC this morning, trying to get over that blowout loss to Indiana last week. And the Illini had some trickery up their sleeve. Receiver Hank Beatty on a trick play to the QB Altmaier in the end zone for 6. Illini lead. Illinois had a fourth quarter lead, but USC came back. They forced this Illinois fumble and then marched down the field to take a 32-31 lead. But they left too much time on the clock for Altmaier. He led Illinois down the field, and David Alano kicked the game-winning 41-yard field goal to take down number 21 USC 34-32 and get Illinois back on track.
I know my roster better than anybody in this country, right? Like, I know who they are, I know what they represent, I knew how they would respond. I saw them during the course of the week. I saw them hurt. I felt myself hurting, but I knew we could respond and do well, and I thought we'd play pretty well today.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC has 3 games left this season. Tonight they tried to win 3 games in a row for the first time this season. But LAFC brought some stars to Energizer Park for this game. Lots of folks in the stands just to see this man. Former Tottenham superstar Son Heung-min is now stateside, and the South Korean hero had a lot of support tonight. LA starts things. Denis Bouanga chasing Messi for the MLS goal lead. He gets closer with that one, 1-0 LA. Later, the folks who came to see Son were rewarded. He beats Roman Berkey to make it 2-0. Then he would add one more goal for good measure. Superstar doing superstar things, and City had no answer. LA wins 3-0 to dash City's hopes of a 3-game win streak. We had Blues news during their home preseason opener against the Blackhawks. Defenseman Cam Fowler has a new 3-year extension worth $6.1 million a year. On the ice, the kid showed his skills again. Dalibor Dvorsky, blink and you'll miss that shot. 1-0 Blues. second period. Some great passing leads to a goal on the doorstep from the captain, Braden Chen. 2-0 Blues. One of the new guys won some fans tonight. Logan Mayhew's going to drop the gloves for his first bout as a Blue. Gets a few good ones in there. The Blackhawks would come back and win this game 4-2, but it's the preseason, so we're just going to go ahead and ignore that final score. I think that's all right today. Typical Wrigley day for the Cubs and Cardinals. You know what that means. Dingers galore. Very good chance this is the last Cardinals home run we ever see from Nolan Arenado. He ties things at 1 in the 4th inning. Michael Busch is the newest Cardinals killer in Chicago. 4 for 4 today with a double, triple, and a pair of home runs. This bomb off Michael McGreevy gave Chicago a 3-1 lead. Good to see Jordan Walker go deep today. He goes down to get that one. That's a 2-run shot. 4-3 Cubs in the 7th. But the Cubs just kept on hitting. Pete Crow Armstrong extended their lead with a moonshot to right. 6 homers between both of the Cubs today as the Cubs win 7-3. Back to college football real quick because a pair of local backs had a pair of amazing days. CBC's Jeremiah Love scored 4 touchdowns today as Notre Dame dismantled Arkansas on the road. And then in the game you saw right here on 5 on your side, Althoff grad and true freshman for Oregon, De'Aaron Hill Jr. had 82 yards and scored a touchdown for the Ducks in their big win over number 3 Penn State. What a moment for that young man. He is just getting started. Like I said, true freshman, a lot of college football left for him. So excited to see as his career progresses. It's off to a good start.
Man, he's off and running, huh?
Yeah.
Corey, thanks a lot. How about a final check of weather real quick?
Everything's pretty quiet. We have cool, comfortable mornings and warm, sunny afternoons, and that is an indefinite forecast.
We love it, Scott. Thanks a lot. That's 5 on your side at 10, everybody. Saturday Night Live is next. Start your day bright and early with Today in St. Louis beginning at 6 a.m. Have a fantastic tomorrow.